Okay, guys, welcome. Very important day today. Congratulations, Cardano, for the official launch of the Alonzo phase of the Cardano project. So smart contracts time up and ready and optimized. Now, as you can see here, we have quite interesting price action. And what I'm going to do, as always, first of all, Money Mike's here, back with another video. So I welcome you all. I'm trying to do things different, guys. So if you think there's anything I can do to improve, let me know. I'm always looking to make sure that I improve every single time and do better for you all. So you guys have clear-cut information that you can actually use to help your lives for trading, for investing, and just for general advice that I can offer from what I have. So, I mean, when we look at what's going on currently in the markets, it's been a very interesting ride and journey. There's a whole lot of things going on. So I would say to you that make sure you keep your eyes peeled as to what's going on and let the markets basically allow you to get the best out of them. Okay. So without spending any time, wasting any time as well, let's go straight into it. Let's have a look at what's going on in the price action. So first things first, which is most important here, is I want to look back in history. So on the D1 time frame, I've told you so many times about the D1 time frame. I'm sure you're tired of it, but let's start from the weekly here. Now I'm going to use the balance between two different brokers here to give you a good picture as to what I'm looking at technically, and then we'll look at the fundamentals. All right, but me being a technical trader for many years, I can tell you, and we'll go through more examples of this, that technicals will let you know what fundamentals are most likely going to do. And the reason is a very simple concept. Money moves first before news does. Okay, keep that in your mind. Money moves first before news does. Okay, whenever there's some sort of piece of news going on, money moves first before news does, no matter what's going on. All right. Now, because money moves first, if you want to know what the market is doing, you have to think of it this way. How can I put this? Any major thing that's going to happen is known by the people that are about to release the information before it happens. So rather, instead of you trying to, how can I put it? Instead of you trying to, how would I put this the best way? Instead of you trying to follow fundamentals first, follow the technicals first. That's the best way I put it to you. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. But let's start off with what we have on the price action at the moment. So there's an algorithmic level here on the weekly at around about 52,800 approximately. And this algorithmic level, I spoke to you guys about it very early on, that this area right here, no matter what happens, the day the price reaches this area here, the price will sell off. Now, coincidentally, the same day that El Salvador announced that they accept Bitcoin as legal tender, this is the same day the price got to this region here. And we're seeing a short take place. Now, there are different features in the price. Now, I want Bitcoin to do well over the long term because what it means for humanity is very serious. And I know many of you are thinking about the price and about the how much ROI and how many X's you can get, but Bitcoin is a lot bigger than that. It's bigger, it's a bigger concept than just, how much return on investment you can get. It is a way of life. And so it is important for Bitcoin to be successful because it's going to help us in the years to come, because the financial eclipse that's taking place that many people still can't see is very deadly. And if you're on the wrong side of it, guys, it's not going to be good for you. All right. Now, I did go through Bitcoin in a little bit more detail. It wasn't the deepest, but if you watch my previous video concerning Bitcoin, I talked about where we are in terms of the market and what's most likely going to happen. But I'm just going to go through all of the features of price action I see here, which is alluding to what I believe is going to happen in the weeks to come. Now, at the moment, the market should be a lot more strongly bullish than it is, because from history and from the calculation made, approximately the bull run should be ending in 15 days, or we should be at the epitome of the bull run by September 28th, which is not what's happening at the moment. And I do think there are various reasons why, but for now anyway, let's look at the weekly structure here. So we've had the price hit here. One of the biggest things that has always been, as a technical trader, an interest to me is this region right here. And I'm going to put let's just use a square or rectangle shape. I'll make a square out of it. But on the weekly time frame here, this weekly demand zone, when the price went strongly short, when we saw the crypto mini crash that we saw from April into May, the price entered into this region. When the price was returning for a long, notice that the candlesticks that were formed were not that large compared to the massive drop, and they didn't last for that long. The next week after here, so this is the week starting the 13th of June, we had a very strong short that swallowed up all of the main gains in terms of the open to the close of the previous week. And then we saw a much stronger movement down within this demand zone area. So the fact that the price, from a weekly structure is pushing further into the area of demand, it means that the resistance against buying is becoming weaker and weaker. Okay. And then we saw one bullish week, and then we had two bearish weeks after now. The key here is this week right here. So I'm going to try to maybe place an arrow. This might help. So I'm going to place an arrow right here. So right here at this arrow, or this area right here, the body of the candle closed beneath this demand zone, which signals that the fact that the price is in supply, or we've reached into an area of supply that we haven't seen since the formation of this candle or this area. So at this point in history, so 11th of July, the week starting 11th of July, we were in demand that we haven't seen since the beginning of the year. Okay, so we had a lot of supply, and compared to what we've seen throughout February, March, April, and etc. But when we had this body close, when we had the return in here, really we should have been seeing a short at this 34 mark. But coincidentally, again, fundamental news came into play, and at the same moment where we should have seen a short from a technical perspective, in fact, we had a crazy long that continued for several weeks. Now, that crazy long came out from the news about Amazon wanting to, or accepting crypto as a form of payment by 2022. And so that news produced a very strong reaction in the market, which lasted for a very long time. So now that we've arrived at this place, where are we now? So important things to note here is that we're still broken beneath this area. So this weekly order block can't be used. Okay, the only place that we can use would be the next weekly demand zone up. Now, why am I using demand primarily? Well, because we had such a strong drop recently, on the way up, the demand zones that were created were used to be able to act as a conduit to continue the bullish run. Now, what we've seen here, when I draw this zone, this is a demand zone, an intermediate one. The price used this area to go long until we got to the 64K mark. Then we had the first break beneath in this week. So this is the week starting the 9th of May. And we've had a return back to the other side. So right now, this area of demand is acting as a supply zone area, which is not clear to see until you really dig into it. Now, for me, if Bitcoin is going to go long and go to the 100K mark, which I believe it can do in the long run, it would need to close the body of 1 week at least. Primarily, I would say 2 weeks would be a good amount of time, but definitely at least 1 week above this region right here. If we have a weekly close above 58K, then definitely we should see the continuation, because we would have closed outside of this region of a demand zone flip to a supply zone. At the moment, we're in the crux of it, and we've actually hit the algorithmic level to the T. And so this, coupled together with this flip zone, produces enough pressure from a technical standpoint to cause the price to go short. Now, I've always said that when Bitcoin reversed on the 20th here, and this is important, when Bitcoin reversed on the 20th of July and every other crypto either on the same day or after, there was a pool of liquidity here on the order book left that hasn't been filled out, around about 28,000. And I expected the price to go for that at least before it goes long, and it hasn't done that. So I do not trust the price. Now, in this range, the next algorithmic area was just beneath. And what I wanted to see was the price touch back here to validate the long price action and then go from here. If you notice, when the market opened in December into January, this is January 2021, the price spiked very close but did not touch back. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts here, but no touch back here. So we may just see the touch back here that we need to see. And then from this 28 mark, the price can take off and continue. Or the theorized lows that I was looking at, which they are theorized and they could potentially happen, which is Bitcoin going back to 10,000. Now, when I say that, a lot of people's hearts drop, or they think I'm just saying it because I hate Bitcoin, or apparently I hate Bitcoin. No, really, from a technical standpoint, there are liquidity gaps on the market that I've researched for 2 years now, which have never been filled. And the lowest one down, which is not caused by price feed, but is genuine price action, is at 9,635. Okay. And the question is right now, Bitcoin has just taken a very powerful step. The community of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin represents for the world, has just taken a powerful step to become legal tender in El Salvador, the country of the savior. Now, because of this, what Bitcoin represents, in essence, will destroy every central bank and the broken systems that they've been given to us for over 100 years now, 108 to be exact. So if Bitcoin is successful like this and it's made a major move, what do you think the best thing they can do would be to do? Now, if you think like I know it sounds crazy, but if you think like an evil person, or you think like an institution who doesn't want Bitcoin to come out alive, what would be the best thing to do? El Salvador is already one of the poorest Latin countries or Latin American countries. Number two, many people are accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment, which means that they have a store of wealth or value in that crypto. Now, if you have a poor country, a crypto that is said by many to be unstable, okay, and then you have a massive price crash where it's almost unbearable, like for example, Bitcoin losing 80% of its value, that will cause an uproar in El Salvador, and that uproar will cause Bitcoin to be possibly removed from El Salvador. And the people who are in charge of, the centralized institutions we have will be very happy because they can continue with their Ponzi scheme system. So my worry here is not a worry, but my heads up is that I'm saying this for now, that there is a potential that this could happen. Okay, so I would say if this is the case, I'm not going to push that far for 10K, but there are gaps that need to be filled from a technical standpoint. So this could be a scenario used to fill out those gaps, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Okay, but this is where we are with Bitcoin at the moment. What I'm going to do, let's look at the D1 structure, but I'm going to open up another Bitcoin because I'm sure the charts will get a little bit messy. So let's go to the D1 here. Now, I want to give you guys this piece of advice, all right? Because I think where we are at the moment in terms of the market, it's probably going to be one of the most important points. Yeah, one of the most important points that we get into. So I would say definitely, how can I put this? If I were you, all right, I would say keep your eyes on this area here. And the area is this region right here. Okay. This region right here, where the price is at the moment, okay, represents a very strong area of price where we saw this supply zone act as a conduit for the sell for basically most of the time. The price was around here until the 20th of July. Okay. So now we've had a break above here on the 9th and a return. And currently the price has used it as a flip zone to go long. And we've just recently returned back here. So my warning to you is this, guys, if you are trading Bitcoin, first of all, or trading any other crypto, if you want to capture a short, the moment that the body of this candle closes beneath this supply zone here and then returns back to the other side, we're going to have a reoptimization for supply as its original use, which is a selling area. And if that happens, then we're going to be seeing a very strong short, I believe. Now, there have always been inefficiencies on the way up that I was expecting the price to fill. And this current fundamental climate seems like a good opportunity to really get that going along. So I'm expecting to see the price reach back down here. And if that's the case, then we should be seeing a very strong short moving forward from here. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled for what the price might want to do. But I would say to you that today is a very important day. The moment we have this body closed, then we should be looking for a strong sell to erupt from this movement here. This is the most important thing to keep your eyes peeled on. So if you're watching this, all right, and you want to know what should you do? If you're investing in crypto, now this is not financial advice, this is what I would do. If you're holding for the long term, I don't think panic buying is, or panic selling anyway is going to do anything for you. I would say, depending on your own pocket, what you want to do is use this analysis and work out as the days go by if there's any cryptos that you can dollar cost average. If there's a crypto you like and you can dollar cost average to get a cheaper price, then take advantage of the short that potentially would happen on Bitcoin. Okay. Every time Bitcoin goes short and the market goes with it, it gives you an opportunity to have a chance to get cheaper crypto if the crypto is going to do well. Okay. Now I'll leave that down to you to have come up with a final decision, because again, this is not financial advice. You have to see a financial advisor for your final decisions. But this is just what I would personally do. If it were me, I would dollar cost average as much as I can. Okay. So Bitcoin, for me, through the lens of what I'm seeing here, I do see that the future for Bitcoin in terms of price action looks like we're going short, and maybe the market might use this opportunity to fill out inefficiencies before we go long. If the price stays exactly where it is right now, then this is probably one of the best buy signals, because if we get this, we should be looking for a crazy long that should take us to where we need to go. All right. So we're in another crossroad, the technical crossroad. Now, what would be the pushing line, or the line that will divide between whether we're going long or short? I do believe will be fundamentals. Right now, the market is highly sensitive to fundamentals more than usual. Any sort of fundamental that could lead towards a something bad for crypto or something good for crypto would result in crazy price action movements. This is the main thing I would say to you guys. So if you are, all right, again, if you are holding crypto, you want to keep your eyes peeled on this fact. All right, I'm going to have a look at XRP as well. Now, usually on Mondays, I don't do much analysis because I like to give the market one day to go through what it needs to. So what I will do, I'll come back to XRP. I'm just going to quickly show you my charts here for IC markets. So the famed IC markets that you hear me talk about quite a bit, this is where, let's put this here. This is where the idea of what's going on is coming from, about the short and about the gaps. So if you look on my chart very carefully here, let me go back to the weekly. The same algorithmic level here, price got to it, has started to short. The first gap here, according to IC markets, which is a true gap, is all the way back down to 23K, which we haven't seen that price point on Bitcoin. There's another gap here between 18,100 to 19,000, excuse me, to 18,000, between that range. And then the final gaps, now, if you're not too sure, you probably can't tell from here. So I'm going to have to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in for you, and I'm going to go back to show you where these gaps are. All right, I've put lines to show you. So here's the second range of gap. So 18,000, sorry, I keep saying 1800, 18,398 to 18,898. So a $500 liquidity gap here. There is one right here, but this one, the price has basically cleared most of it. There's probably about maybe like $10 of a gap. And then the final one, which I was talking about right here, here you go. Here's the final gap. So this is the final gap here, which was left in July, on the 24th of July. We have a gap here from about 9,633 to 9,836. This is the lowest gap that we have. Okay, and since that gap is there, I do think the market will fill that gap. Now, it falls straight directly into the lowest demand zone. So I'll be very intrigued to see what takes place in the future. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. Keep your eyes peeled. If this does happen, then this is going to be one hell of a short, which means one hell of a trading opportunity. But then at the same time, a very interesting event. So I would say keep your eyes peeled for sure. Watch out for what the market is doing. And try not to be too fazed by what you see in the news, but be ready for whatever comes out in the news, because now it's getting deadly. Okay. So coming back, XRP, there is a very nice trade you can go for. I'll give this to you. So on the 30-minute time frame here, there's an area of demand that the price has been using since the 8th of September. Now coming into the 13th here, if you get a body close and a return, then you could use this as a nice short. My only issue is that this reversal signature today, the price actually didn't return into supply when it was pushing short. So although we're looking for a short, that would be a great trade. There is a chance that the price can push up higher one more time. And from that pushing up higher, then we might see the price do this movement. So that's why I say Mondays for me, I think Mondays is not even a psychological thing per se, but just market psychology in general. You know, Mondays is a new beginning. A lot of people try to use Mondays for new beginnings and stuff. Many people buy things on a Mondays as a new beginning, crypto, trade forex, things like that. So I would like to give that market the one day. Over the weekend, I don't really count it per se, because the weekends literally is the end of the week. People are going out, people are having fun, things like that. So I don't expect there to be much activity going on. And if you notice on this chart here, Friday was I believe the 10th. Here is Saturday and Sunday's price action into, well, I mean, it's Saturday plus Sunday starts from here. Let me just make sure I've got my facts right. Yep. So looking at the date. Yep. So Friday is the 10th. I'm right. And then the 11th starts from Saturday. So starting from here on the 11th here, you can see that the candlesticks become a lot smaller than what you'll see in the weekday. Okay. Now it's very rare for there to be like a major, something crazy going on, let's say on the weekend, unless there's news to cause that move. But you even notice on Sunday, the candlesticks generally are quite small. The market is ranging a lot. There's not a lot of activity going on. But as soon as Sunday to kind of Monday hits, when, markets start to open, then we see more activity. So this is just how it goes. So I rather allow for that first day to kind of pan out. And then after from there, we'll see how the rest goes. So I'm going to keep it straight to Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin does with that close first before we make any projections about anything. All right. Most cryptos seem to be the same. Cardano, ADA, they seem to be looking quite similar. Now, a good thing, I announced this last time, but if you do trade with Hugo's Way, something cool has just happened for us, guys. We can actually trade, if you refresh your charts and right click here and press show all, you can actually trade Polkadot, Solana, Luna, ADA, and also Tezos. So quite good. All right. Now, DOT is still showing good signs of bullish activity here. It's kind of dropped from the highs that it was at, but it doesn't look like Bitcoin. It looks like it has separate price action from what's going on with Bitcoin, which is nice to see. All right, Solana. Solana has pulled back quite considerably, but I think this is just a short-term pullback in this continuation. Let's see, Luna also, or Terra, for those of you who know it as Terra, Cardano, and Tezos. So a lot of these cryptos are making new all-time highs almost. All right, for sure, this all-time high of $8 is going to be run. And you can see here that the price activity, I mean, this was actually a really great trade. There was a very beautiful supply zone here that the price took advantage of. We had the demand zone form, and we had the pullback a few days back on the 9th, so on Thursday, and this was a good entry right here for a long. I mean, if you got this, trading this on this is how good trading on stuff like Hugo's Way is. A 0.01 position right here would have given you a £258 move up to now, or dollars move. So it was a nice trade here. And these kind of movements here are so simple to capture. I just wish that I caught that, but hey, it happens sometimes. You don't capture them all, but it was a nice trade though. Nonetheless, it was really, really nice here. So let's see what we can get moving forward from here. And let's see what the market does, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Very short and sweet to the point. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Everybody take care.